They gave me this, like, you know, like the up-down look you do for people. They gave me this up-down look, which in any other circumstance is so appraising. And then they just went, like this is exactly right. This naked person is just so right now. And it was so cool.
So I'm here now with Kati Mayfield. How are you, Kati?
I'm great. How are you, Tom?
I am really well.
Good.
Tell us, where are we? Where is this?
We're at Teurastamo. The Finnish speakers we know would tell us means slaughterhouse, but this is the old slaughterhouse district.
This actually means slaughterhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the most welcoming name.
No, but
to put on a banner.
But I think it's a cool homage to the history of the place, you know?
Okay,
like
I have no idea what the history is.
I don't know that much about it, but I think this is a cool example of urban revival, you know, that they tried to take this old industrial area and kind of amp it back up and make it cool. I think this project happened maybe 10 or 12 years ago. We're here today because this is where FloweRescue is based.
Okay, and tell me, what is FloweRescue?
FloweRescue is, we're a new RU, we're a nonprofit member organization, and our mission is to address and create dialogue about the issue of flower waste,
okay,
and to connect people through the beauty and joy of flowers. So
okay,
what we do is we collect surplus flowers that would go to waste,
okay,
from wholesalers and florists and events, and we turn those into bouquets for mostly elderly homes and hospitals and charities, and we also use these waste flowers for like community art projects.
We're all familiar with how wasteful today's society is.
Yeah.
But when I think about waste, I never think about flowers. Like, it never occurred to me that wasting flowers would be bad for the environment. Like, can you explain why is flower waste an issue?
Yeah, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because flowers are such
They're
beautiful, joyful products. They're natural, so you're like...
And also they biodegrade, right? So it's not like
Well, that's true.
It's not like plastic, throwing plastic away.
Well, there is a lot of plastic that gets thrown away in the floral industry.
Ah.
But, you know, it's like food waste. Like, we agree food waste is a problem. Like, these are flowers and food. They're both perishable commodities.
Yes.
So, of course, to some extent, waste is inevitable. But the currently cited figure for the amount of waste in the cut flower industry is 40%, 40. I read this article which said that each week from Kenya, which is one, I think, like the third or fourth largest international producer, like international exporter of flowers, from Kenya to Holland, each week there are 42 airplanes full of flowers that travel. So if we think about this 40% statistic,
okay,
that's like saying that per week, 10 airplanes full of flowers
they're traveling for no reason.
Exactly. And that's just one route in 1 week. So
Crazy.
So I think that...
But then, so that answers the question I had about, well, flowers are from the earth, they're biodegradable. Where's the actual harm to the environment?
Yeah.
Well, 10 planes are flying for no reason.
For no reason.
There's harm to the environment.
People are working hundreds, if not thousands of hours for no reason. There's tons of pesticides and plastic getting used for no reason.
Oh my gosh.
And this, of course, is a luxury industry. Like, of course, I would argue, yes, we need flowers, but if you think about a hierarchy of basic needs, flowers aren't in there. And so to imagine justifying this for a luxury product is like mind-boggling. And so you know, personally, I feel like I either should stop buying flowers or I should do something about this.
Well, let's talk a little bit about you. Tell me, where are you from?
I'm from the United States. I grew up in Colorado, which you know for the Denver Nuggets.
Yes, I do.
Where many Finns know for the Colorado Avalanche.
Okay.
Yeah, Colorado's like in the central western part of the U.S.
Yes.
And
How come you came to Finland?
Well, after I finished my bachelor's degree in Colorado, I moved to Oregon on the West Coast and fell in love with a Finnish American.
Yeah.
And
Same story.
Yeah, that many of us have.
Yeah.
And he actually had never lived in Finland before, but we, I don't know, we were sort of at that period in our life where like we could get married and buy a house and have babies, or we could go do something
adventurous,
really different. Yeah. And I really wanted to go to graduate school, so that was our decision point. We decided if I got into graduate school in Finland, we'd come.
Okay.
And I got in, so we came.
Wow. So can you tell me what you think about entrepreneurship in Finland in general? How has it been being a foreign entrepreneur? Do you speak the language?
No.
Have you tried speaking Finnish?
No.
Have you tried learning? Sorry, not speaking.
No, I haven't.
Okay, well, you made me feel a bit better about myself now.
My numbers are good and my colors are very good, but I mean, I guess I have this like daily vocabulary, but I can't do very much with it.
So how has it been? How do you find being a foreign entrepreneur in Helsinki?
I'll start by saying that I got my degree from also in entrepreneurship and innovation management.
Okay.
So it's through the School of Business. So it's an economics degree focused on entrepreneurship. And man, did people laugh at me when I told them that I was an American moving to a socialist country to learn about entrepreneurship, and that you could learn about entrepreneurship, period. You know, everyone's like, you don't learn entrepreneurship, you do entrepreneurship.
Oh, I like that.
But I'm sort of like, when it comes to new experiences, I'm like a dip one toe in the water and then go up to my ankle and then go up to my knee and then go, you know, like I'm not a dive, all in kind of person. And so for me to come here and have the community at school, which was like really curious and really focused on entrepreneurship as a way to solve interesting problems, that was really inspiring to me. And the fact that finding a job was going to be so hard made it seem like, oh yeah, I could do that.
And I have on my own.
Yeah, well, and I have been employed part-time, so I'm not a full-time entrepreneur yet.
And also, I really like what you said about dipping your toes in first. I believe that that's what makes a good entrepreneur. It's even though the sexy version of an entrepreneur is risk-taking, throwing it all, you know, all or nothing. I don't think that's what makes a good entrepreneur, right? It's not about risk-taking, it's about risk mitigation.
Well, it's about calculated risk.
Right,
and knowing,
that's a key word, calculated
risk. And knowing
risk.
when the reward and the possibility of payoff is higher than the risk that you have to take. And for me, it's taken a while to get there, but now the timing just feels right, and I have this, like watching your walk and talk, I've seen multiple entrepreneurs on there who have influenced my journey in Helsinki, and so not only do I feel like I have a vision for what I want to do now, but I also have this incredible community of people.
Yeah.
And for me, that's everything. I mean, this whole area sort of has this like derelict, abandoned feel. In terms of urban environments, this one is interesting. It's like, it's right by the sea. There's a cool view across to the center of Helsinki.
Yeah.
It's a compelling part of town. It's not the most charming part of town. Being in places like this helps me remember that I live in somewhere like that's still very intriguing to me.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I've lived in, like when I left the US, I lived in some other cities that were like the moment I got there, it was like a passionate love affair.
Give me an example.
Like Buenos Aires in Argentina. Okay. Like you arrive and you like, just, it was like my heart was getting ripped out of my chest. Like it was so vibrant, it was so intense, but it was exhausting, just like a passionate love affair.
Good point. That's a good analogy.
Yeah, and so within Helsinki, really seemed disappointing to me at first because it was quiet and slow. But now I realize that like this is the kind of city with I can have a long-term relationship.
Oh man,
know?
that's such a good analogy. Now I get it, because I was wondering, man, now that you put it that way, I think I have a similar thing. Like I feel like when you first come here, you think, yeah, 6 months.
Yeah.
I'll be here. I'll be gone in 6 months. 5 years later, you're still here. 8 years later, I'm like, okay.
You're still here. And it's yeah. This city continues to surprise me with how it can feel like home, and I really want to learn Finnish so that it can feel
Really
even more like home. Yeah, I miss the little things like.
Oh man, tell me about it. Just talking to, I love one of my favorite things to do is just make a joke with a stranger in the street. Just say something fun, especially with older people.
Yes.
And the worst, even worse than that, is when they say something funny to me, and I know
it, and you can tell,
and I
it's
can't
funny.
respond,
I
and I
know.
feel so rude.
I've had the same thing happen. Or like the simple act of overhearing a conversation on the bus, or all of these little things, or knowing what the advertisements say, or I mean in some ways it's nice to tune out that noise, but it also makes you
You're the only person who's saying you want the advertisements.
well, of course I don't, but it's like I want to be able to opt in if I so choose.
Yes.
So let's see, but of course I should have studied Finnish before deciding to be an entrepreneur, because I first came to this part of town almost exactly 4 years ago, the end of October 2016. We were like 2 months into our time in Finland. Like there's a night in the fall each year when all of the saunas open.
Okay.
Like I think it's like Sauna Day or something. But
Okay.
we've never been to this part of town before, and as you can tell, like
It's not the
there's
most
not a lot
accessible.
happening here yet. So I think we walked from Sörnäinen.
Wow, that's a
And,
long walk.
Yeah, and it was like I said, it was so cold that night. One cool thing that happened that night was as we were wandering around looking for the sauna, we met this other guy who had just moved to Helsinki. So we went to the sauna with him, and he's become one of our best friends in Finland.
Okay.
Wandering around, yeah, it's all wood fired, it's all community run, this sauna. I don't know everything about its history, but I know that it has burned down and risen like a phoenix from the ashes multiple times, and I think they're fighting to keep this piece of land because of course they're doing all this development here.
Can you believe I've never been here?
No.
And
Yes, I don't know how people will feel about
yeah,
the
let's
video
not get
camera.
so close with the
But,
video.
But yes, you can come here anytime, all the time, year round, and there's someone staffing it and keeping it warm, and you can take a dip in the sea. The zoo is right over there. We are talking about nudity hang-ups.
Well, yeah, that's what I love about Finnish people is they have less of a nudity hang-up, do you think, than Brits or Americans?
Yeah. One cool anecdote when we were here that night was, so it's mixed, like you pointed out, mixed sauna, men and women together, and usually people don't wear bathing suits. Of course you can.
I
but-
didn't know it was a mixed sauna.
Yeah.
I didn't realize those things existed.
Well, this, in this, I think the commercial ones,
Okay.
they steer away from that, but this community one. And on this blistering cold night, I naked opened the door of the sauna to go out, and there were these two giant men standing right in front of the sauna door in fur-lined jackets. Like they were so bundled because this night was so cold. And they gave me this the up-down look you do for people. They gave me this up-down look, which in any other circumstance is so appraising. And then they just went like this is exactly right. This naked person is just so right now. And it was so cool.
what happens when you receive flowers these days? What is your advice? What's the best practices? What do we do with flowers?
Well, I mean, I think some people who learn about this flower problem, their solution is like, okay, well, they just don't buy flowers anymore. Instead, they buy plants or other gifts. That's not, people should do what they want, but for me, that's not viable. Like, I'm sort of a flower addict.
Yeah, so okay, before we figure out what we can do,
yeah.
let's articulate what's the worst thing to do. The worst thing to do is buy brand new flowers, use them for a tiny short period of time,
Yeah.
and throw them away.
Yeah.
Am I correct?
Yeah, I think so. And
So as long as you avoid the worst thing,
yeah, but
then you're helping.
Let's think about this single-use flower concept. Most people, when they plan flowers for their wedding, they want like a fully customized, totally fresh, totally perfect. If you want that event where you have that full, beautiful flower wall so you can take all your awesome photos in front of it, like, okay, go for it. But then work, well, with us if you're in Helsinki, or like find a local elderly home and ask if they would like to have the flowers afterwards. Like, we can all also take part in rehoming the flowers. Like, it's great that in 2020 we're all talking about sustainability for food and for other products that we get, and I want that conversation to extend to flowers too.
Okay, awesome. We've entered ready.
Now we're in the mall.
So,
like, talk about symbols of consumerism.
sustainability. Yeah. And I'm not gonna ask you what you think of this mall on camera. I'm gonna switch this off first because I think it's the weirdest designed place
so
ever.
weird.
But all right, well, that's it from us. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Katie. Check out FloweRescue.
Jen.
Is it flowerescue.org?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'll put the links, and hope we can do this again sometime.
Me too. Thanks.